I wasn't on one week, and you guys made this thing where some guy is supposed to choose the videos.
That was you.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was me. It was me.
I wasn't
Was it
here.
you?
Yeah.
Someone told me that I'm first. They're like, we made up this rule, and Charles, you're first.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Five Idiots Talking Toys. It is our Sunday night podcast. We've got a new topic for you tonight, and we're going to bring the fellas in. Charlie Beansacks is here.
How you doing, Shane?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
What do you got on your hoodie there? Oh, Boba?
I have ICCC.
Nice. What is that?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cup.
Oh, I couldn't see. I couldn't see what that was. Okay, gotcha. That's the first T-shirt I bought. That same print. I got it on a green T-shirt.
This is the first sweatshirt I ever bought, too.
Yeah. All right. If I don't bring your brother in next, we're going to all hear about it. So Chris is here. He's got Spidey and Venom on his shirt.
Correct. That's Venom eating Spider-Man.
Correct. All right. Brandon, I don't know if he's on air or not. It's in the back.
I'm on.
Falling off the shelf.
I mean, he's usually on, but he's not really on.
Yeah.
Not really on tonight.
Right. Lord Walden. There he is.
Glad to see that Charlie Beansacks is representing the trajectory of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't on purpose.
That wasn't on purpose.
How they shared the same field and all that stuff.
Yeah. Charlie Beansacks. There we go. I was looking for the button.
No idea.
Look at that. Brandon is muted. It shows him muted.
He is just
He's live.
He is not on this show at all.
He's on air now, guys.
He only cares about his other show. What's the name of that?
That's correct.
He's on that show called
I don't. What is it called?
It's called
Rogue 5 Rundown. Chris and Brandon every Friday night at 6 p.m. Get your market updates.
You walked right into that one.
I mean, that's actually the wrong show. We haven't told you guys, but we have a new show that is coming out.
Correct. A new show.
Brandon, what's the name of the show? I forgot. Is it They Come Out at Night mostly?
No, actually, I thought I had a really good name for it today, and I kind of forgot. But
so we're doing an Alien podcast. It's me, Brandon, James Gunther, Adam Gothard, with special guest Josh Crouch. It's gonna be 5 guys talking about Alien. So
Oh my gosh.
and then John's gonna edit it.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
And it's, by the way, it's a daily podcast.
It's a daily.
5
Every
days a
day.
week.
You can talk about
No,
aliens
he's
so
not.
much more than Star Wars. So
5 days a week. God bless you.
Thanks, John.
Well, you can also, you could check out our channel. Content on. Oh, he's gone. We have a lot of content on our channel here on YouTube.
I believe the name was Assholes and Elbows podcast.
Yes, Assholes and Elbows, right?
There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, we also have 3 idiots talking trailers.
Who is
John,
that guy?
what was that?
Yeah, who is that guy?
We've been reviewing a lot of trailers of series, television streaming series, and movies, and we've done a few teaser trailers actually, and you guys have all been involved. The teasers are actually doing well because they're movies that are not even close to coming out. So
and they're just fun to do because we're all watching it mostly for the first time anyway.
Yeah.
So and it's stuff that we're probably interested in.
And I was looking at we did a couple of videos on
Willow?
No. The HBO show, Last of Us.
Willow.
We did like a recap, and then we did a season 2 trailer right before it came out. And it did fine, but but people have seen those trailers for several months by then.
Oh,
They're ready for the show to come out. They're not, looking to see the trailer for the first time. When you do something,
that's why the Predator one did so good. But you always have to look back at the roots and where it started, and it all started with Willow.
Correct.
Because I think Willow really opened the door to all the other trailers we're doing now.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do one for 2.5 years.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Predator video, it's hot in the streets. Predator Badlands.
Check it out. Check it out.
And if if you're feeling spicy, go back and see the trailer of Willow.
Post a link in the comments.
Put a link in the comments. Yeah. All right. We'll do that. But yeah, we got Toxic Avenger was a teaser. So yeah, we're going to keep doing that. It's fun. All right, fellas, we are going to talk toys tonight, not trailers, not teasers, not Rogue 5 rundowns, and not elbows and assholes and aliens. We're going to talk toys. Are toys for kids or adults? Now that sounds like a silly question, right? We're all in our 40s,
sure,
except for John. John's still in his 30s.
John was born in the 40s.
It sounds like a silly question. We're all in our 40s, and so that question sounds ridiculous because nobody would have ever asked that when we were kids. Like, obviously toys are for kids, but now there's so many collectors, and they're collectors that are in our age range. They're folks like us who had a lot of toys or wanted toys as a kid, and now they can get them. But it is an interesting question in 2025. Toys that are produced and released in many different ways on the web, in stores, in video game stores, GameStop, in stores, bookstores, things that you wouldn't think that they would have a toy area. They do. And a lot of them are expensive and a lot of them are very detailed. So the question is legit. Are toys in 2025 for kids or for adults? John, where do you want to start? Or does anybody have a thought?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Because we could just end the whole episode. They're for kids. That's it.
Good night, everybody.
Legos are toys, right?
They're for kids.
Yeah, for kids. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree. I'm not going to go next, but
I do too.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to end it.
Go, Chris.
I would disagree and say that that toys are not for kids. Toys are for adults, because I would have to say I'm just going to throw out a percentage going by my son's friends, and 75% of the kids don't play with toys anymore. At least the people that he hangs out with. They're all into iPads and computer screens and TVs. They don't play with toys. So toys are being made for adults, especially with the price tags that are on these things now.
You're saying the current toys, the toys that are hanging up on the shelves right now at Walmart and Target.
Is that not what we're talking about? Or
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to make sure that's
okay. So yes, the current toys.
Because old toys, you could say old toys are made for
back in the day. Toys were made for kids, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But they are not made for kids anymore because kids don't play with toys anymore, mostly.
I would agree to a certain extent with that statement, but there are certain toy lines that some adults are not collecting that I know of that kids still buy to play with.
Well, Brandon, I'm not talking in whole here, like 100%, but I'm just talking like in generalization. Like if you're talking about Star Wars and stuff like that, like, you're probably going to talk about Minecraft. Like, yeah, I'm not playing with Minecraft toys. Like, I'm sure
Skibidi toilet.
I'm sure a kid's going to buy that, but in general, I was going to say as a whole, most of the toys are being bought by adults.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it's kind of a good.
John buys them all.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of a good thing though that they have some I guess snobbish collectors would call them lower end toys that are like $7 for an action figure, which is cheap. We think it's expensive now because ours were like $3, $4, whatever. But back then that would have been $10, But they have the Spider-Man line. Spin Masters has been putting out a ton of figures that are under $10, and I think it's good for the toy market because it kind of like opens up. If they sell enough of those to the kids, then adults are going to get back into collecting. And if adults buy, if there are adult collectors and they see a Spin Masters and they don't want their kid tearing up their Batman, their DC Multiverse Batman, then they can get a Spin Masters Batman, for their kid. But I think the focus of the toy companies now is for adults. For the majority of it,
like the mainstream ones, like my middle son Jackson, he plays with toys all the time, but he's playing with Paw Patrol now.
Yeah.
Paw Patrol toys weren't around, or the movies or the show when we were kids, so obviously it's geared towards kids, and kids are buying that right now.
Yeah.
But that's really the only toy he's playing with. When I show him anything else that's like a remake or anything from an older line, he wants nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'm thinking of is where are their toy stores? There's not really anymore, right? Like you're going to Target, you're going to Walmart, and then of course there's other choices as well, some smaller things. But think of the toy section at Target, which has grown over the years. It's pretty sizable now. If you took that toy section as a whole, and yes, I know there's several aisles of toddler toys, and it's all toys. If you take that section as a whole, then I really have to say the vast majority is being sold for children. So, are toys as a whole for kids or adults? Kids are still getting the vast majority of toys. But if you talk about action figures and the accessories and play sets and vehicles that go with action figures, then you got a different ball game. Because all the things you guys are saying,
Shane, everybody here is only talking about action figures.
So. But when you're talking about Paw Patrol, like that's a different aisle. There's no adults shopping in that aisle.
Well,
exactly.
That's
There's
why
only like 2 aisles of action
up.
figures at Target.
Right. 2 out of like 12 or 15 aisles is.
They're always empty because they don't stock them. And if you look, they're all stocked with Lando Calrissian peg warmers and Darth Vader's and Cassian Andors.
My stores don't even have a Star Wars section, so I don't even know what peg warmers would be.
Yeah.
There's remnants of Jurassic Park figures, and there's comic book, there's superhero figures. There's a lot of Hot Wheels. There's there's a whole aisle or two of Barbies and Rainbow High dolls. I mean, there's a lot of girls' toys too. Those are absolutely all for kids. All the surprise toys that came and went, those are all for kids. But action figures, everything you guys are saying is absolutely true. And I think we did this once in an episode. We talked about how much Star Wars toys were when we were kids, and we've seen the stickers now. I mean, we see $1.89, $2.19, $2.49. Of course, KB was the one, asshole store that was like $3.89 a figure when everything else was half the price. But
they had to pay mall rent.
Right. But we did the calculation, and we found a website. In today's money, that $2 is not equal to $20 like the figures are now. It's only equal to like $6.
Yeah.
So it's not, the inflation on $2 is not as much as you think it is. So if we were seeing figures now that were $5.50, $6, that would have been equivalent. Like you could go and you could talk your parents into getting you 4 of them.
Well, that's what John
can't do that now.
He's talking about the Spin Master ones.
Right.
And then the cheaper Star Wars ones that are $10 and under. And those are the ones that people are buying for their kids. Nobody's buying Black Series and TVC figures for their kids right now.
No. And all the Marvel figures. I mean, you can't buy kids a $24.99
No, I'm not. I
figure.
I refuse to buy that for my son, even because it's like the flavor of the week.
Right.
1 week he'll be playing with Minecraft toys. The next week it'll be back to Paw Patrol. And the week after that, he'll be back to Spider-Man. He told me today that he hates Spider-Man, but yeah, he's got Spider-Man everything.
My kid hates Spider-Man.
He said that to you while he was wearing Spider-Man pajamas.
Yeah, he literally, he had Spider-Man pajamas on. He goes, I don't like Spider-Man anymore. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right. but I'm not going to buy him a Marvel Legends Spider-Man for $20-something at Target. I refuse to do that because I bring it home. Next thing you know, the head's missing and his arm's broken off.
Yep.
I used to walk into KB Toys, and if you guys remember that, the whole store was action figures, play sets,
some games, and then a lot of action figures.
There was some games, but a lot of it was like action figures. There's one toy store where I live right now. There are no action figures whatsoever. None. It's all games like Nerf footballs and baseballs.
The whole Nerf aisle.
Like a lot of like sports stuff. They have like little like plastic dinosaurs and figurines, but like as far as like figures, there's none. And they have a little Paw Patrol section that my son wanted to buy stuff on, but I literally was going on Amazon and checking it, and it was $30 in the store, and it was like $9 on Amazon.
Which sucks because that's like the old mom and pop, situation, right?
Correct.
But I mean, with the way the world's going these days, I mean, you can't just go spend over 3 times the amount just because you want to support a local store. I mean,
I can't do it. So the store is filled with like kites and puzzles and stuff. Like that's the toy stores nowadays. If you even find one of those.
Yeah, there's one of those in like a little touristy area here, and the prices are astronomical. And I'm like looking around, I'm like, man, I wonder if this guy would ever like sell vintage Star Wars or vintage action figures. I wonder if that would sell in a place like this, I'm sure it would. Instead of selling all this made in China puzzle crap and Nerf, dart guns and who knows what.
They have to charge $30 though, because they only sell like one every like week. They're not selling like 100 like Amazon does at $7, and they can make $1 off each one.
I'll tell you, I don't even understand, and I'm not saying this, John. I know you had a toy store. I'm not saying this to be rude. I don't understand how anybody keeps a toy store open these days. I understand there's some that have good clientele. There's one in my area that's been open for years, like very odd hours, does a lot of whatnot sales from the store. But he has like a real following on Facebook, and he gets good stuff in. But I always want to go there, but it's out of my way. It's not a town that I go to regularly, so I haven't been there in over a year. How do you keep a toy store open and sell at a price point that keeps the doors open and the bills paid?
Well, it's the adults that come in and buy all the stuff. Like nobody buys any of that stuff for their kids.
Right. Well, it's only the vintage stuff that's not mass produced anymore.
Yeah.
Because why would you not just sit on your couch and order it from Amazon or Walmart?
So why would your kid even want a Star Wars figure or a wrestling figure or a Marvel figure? It's because you showed it to them. If you're not, a lot of these people are not showing their kids these movies or shows or anything. So all they see is like what's on regular TV.
Well, I'll tell you this. You're pretty accurate, but I'll tell you one thing that you might not be thinking of: YouTube. They don't have commercials anymore. There's no, you're not sitting there on Saturday morning with cartoons and seeing 5 G.I. Joe commercials. But they go on to YouTube, and YouTubers are now the spokesperson for toys. Not a commercial, but you go on there, and there's guys who have their rings set up, and they do an entire Royal Rumble reenactment with the figures, with like real sound effects, with the announcer voice. And it's corny, but for kids, it's like seeing a real wrestling match, but with the toys, and they are enamored with it. And I get it. Like, it looks really cool to an 8-year-old to see like a real match reenacted with figures, and they want the figures. I got to do my son is reenacting matches. He's got 3 rings now, steel cage. I mean, he's talking to himself. He's playing.
You showed him that stuff, though.
I didn't. Wrestling, I didn't. Star Wars, of course, I did. But
He just searched YouTube and just found wrestling.
He was watching wrestling clips, and he's always, checked out various, toy clips on YouTube. But once those wrestling toys started getting served to him because he was searching WWE, I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Oh, he wants the same figure with different shirts on. Like he's got to have close to like 75 figures now, and I've bought maybe 5 of them brand new. And I showed this to you guys on a Wins and Whiffs recently. This figure I bought because it was his birthday last weekend. And it just came out. You can't get this used. And he really wanted the Solo Sokoa. Little did I know, my wife bought him the exact same character in the Ultimate version. So I told him I'm going to return this and get him a different figure. But that's the only reason why I bought brand new figures. I was buying them off of eBay in mint condition from adult collectors who were moving on. But I picked him up from school today. I go into the aftercare room. He's got wrestling figures. He's allowed to bring them for aftercare. He's got them all spread out. He's got 6 boys around him in a circle, and they're doing a full wrestling match. Like, kids do want to play with toys, but they have to be ripped away from the computers.
I think it's just like your son found it or his friend found it, because my son is a 7. I have never met one person who plays with wrestling figures. Like, you're the first one that I know that actually plays wrestling figures. There's nobody.
It's got to be introduced to you, right? Like you said, like these other kids are that interested because he brought them and he's telling them about them, and he has friends. A friend that lives literally next door to us, and he didn't watch wrestling at all. He came over here for St. Patty's Day, and we put wrestling on. He's got all his wrestling. The whole family is over there watching wrestling every week now. So it has to spread. It has to spread.
Somebody's got to be playing with these toys, because that's probably the number one thing that I find out in the wild is these modern wrestling figures for sale.
And I'll tell you, this figure is $27.
Tons of those.
The cheapest you could find it online is about $24, $25. And this is a middle of the line release. There's a basic figure with no accessories, and that's $18 to $21, $23.
Who makes those?
Mattel. Mattel has the license. And they're making WCW old school, like they're going back and making old Sting figures, and they're all brand new releases. They're like dressed just like they were at one single pay-per-view event, and they're selling out of them, like on online and in the stores.
Toys are in the same category as kids riding bicycles and scooters and stuff. Most of them do not do it. Like my kids, they ride scooters. Grayson rides a 2-wheeler now, up and down the block. No one's riding bikes anymore. Kids don't go outside and ride bikes. They don't do scooters. All the things that we used to do as kids, they're not doing them. You know where they are? They're sitting inside when it's 90 degrees and they're staring at their iPad.
It's exactly what I said today.
It's ridiculous.
When I picked my son up,
it depends on where you guys live too, because the weather is nicer here. So there's all the kids out in the neighborhood are always outside running around doing stuff. So we try to not do the iPad time and sit in front of the TV time.
They'll run around, really, but how long do they last? Like, you had to drag Charles and I in at dinner time, and we still weren't even home on time. Now, if they say, all right, you have an hour, after 10 minutes, all right, I'm bored.
We played one-on-one like baseball, and we would like keep the stats on how many home runs we had for the year. And we played for like years. Like, it was like, I'm just making it up, but like Chris had like 135 home runs and I had like 133. Like,
yeah,
whatever it is. We were always outside. Nowadays, it's just not like that.
When I picked up my son today, the teacher that was in there goes, "Oh, he brings these figures and the kids love it. They love when he," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's nice to see that here." And he does play with them at home. But I said, she's like, "Oh, usually," because it was rainy today. She goes, "Usually I take them outside to the playground. They play basketball." I go, "Yeah, that would be nice if he did that at home. When he's not playing with the wrestling figures, it could be 90 degrees with a rainbow and a pot of gold outside the door, and he wants to lay on the couch with his iPad. Like, he won't go outside unless you literally throw him out the door." So that's the truth. Like,
you gotta force it. You gotta force it and just have them go outside and play with stuff.
Yeah.
Play with action figures outside.
Yeah, I mean, we used to bring our Star Wars in the dirt and get, I don't know.
I don't want them losing
some
the
firecrackers and blow dirt up around my GI Joes.
Shane, grown-up guys set up like AT-ATs outside with like snow troopers and stuff in the snow.
Yeah, correct.
And they're like sprinkling snow and snapping with the iPhone at the same time to get the shot they want. Right?
I put my indoor one of my indoor forests out there to see if what would happen to it and see if the landscaper would notice.
And
It got run over.
Went right around it. Thought it was a tree trunk.
We actually took away the iPads from the kids. Not like they were bad anyway. We always were very strict with them, where they would have like a timer on it. They get it for 1 hour, and whenever that 1 hour wore out, like that was it. But now we actually took them away all day long, and they only get them at nighttime before bed or on the weekend if it's raining out. Otherwise, the iPads are hidden in the closet. You do not get them. They're locked. They don't know the code. You are going outside. You're getting dirty. You're breaking something. You're doing whatever, but you're not sitting inside on the iPad.
Yeah.
Just not doing it. We just took them away because they were kind of getting like a little moody. I was, after I would take them away, they were getting moody and like kind of spiteful and bratty. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, we got to start taking these things away from them. Like this stuff is just not good. And they were not on it, like compared to other kids that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just been so much better since we took it away. Just so much better.
Well, you know what?
Their attitudes are way better.
Like I said, my son's birthday just passed. My sister, she didn't do anything wrong, but she shows up with presents for him like a couple days after the fact, and she got him Minecraft for his Switch. And we had kind of we certainly avoided
role-playing games.
No, what's that? Not Roblox, like the whole platform.
Oh, Roblox.
Yeah. We avoided that platform on purpose, but we also avoided Minecraft, just knowing that it was addictive and that you'd want to keep playing. Like we like him playing Mario Kart. He'll play it for, a half an hour and he'll be done with it. Things that come to an end. And now he's got the Minecraft. And sure enough, like third day in, we're like, all right, it's time to get ready for bed. Screaming like a drug addict, like you're pulling the needle away from him.
Because they
just
built
one more minute.
Because they built it where it's never ending, and they want the kids to stay on long as possible and start buying what sorts of crap on it and spending money on it.
And we're not unfamiliar with that dynamic. Like we all grew up with Final Fantasy VII and like the games that took 140 hours to beat, and then Grand Theft Auto. You wouldn't finish the game on purpose because you wanted to keep fighting the cops. We know what it's like to keep playing a game until it's 3:30 in the morning and you've nodded off for the 17th time and you got to pull yourself to bed. We know what that's like, but
I just keep all the.
We don't want that.
I keep all the iPads on and the Nintendo on, and when the battery dies, the battery dies. So when they jump on, and next thing you know, 20 minutes, they're like, the battery's dead. I'm like, oh well, that's our timer.
Well, I have parent apps for like the tablets, the Switch, and I can shut it off from wherever I am in the world. So like, if he gives us any crap, I'm like, let me pull my phone out. Bye bye. So, but to back to toys though, I have said over the course of the show, I am pleasantly surprised that my son, who wasn't into toys until about 5 or so, like he just wouldn't sit and play, and actually interact with the toys and like make stuff up in his head. Now he loves it. So I will say that he does play with them on a daily basis.
That's good. Wrestling is good. There's nothing wrong with wrestling figures. We had them, when we were younger as kids.
Mm-hmm.
The older ones are worth money, so maybe these will be worth money sometimes, down in the future. You never know. But I would rather them sit on the floor and banging heads together and playing with action figures than the other crap that they do. So it's not a bad thing.
Let's mention Lego real quick, because Lego is a really wide spectrum. Lego appeals to little kids, whether it's, they start with Duplo or whatever, all the way up to, full adult collectors. But the strange thing with Lego is that the price point is so high.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not buying them.
Still buying them for kids, but
not as much.
You gotta pick your moments. I mean, these sets are $80 for a regular size set.
They only want the figures. So my son, he plays them for hours. He sits at a table,
with no play set or anything.
Hours, yeah.
Wow.
He plays with Legos for hours. He makes all sorts of sounds, weird sounds from across the room.
But only the minifigures though.
He only plays with clone troopers mostly, and the minifigures. But he wants a $50 figure, $150 figure, a $200 figure. Like he
No,
wants
see,
these really expensive ones I have.
We got away from that because nobody here likes Star Wars anymore. So we just got Minecraft Legos, and I just got one of those big tubs of blocks, whatever. And my son will take the instruction book and he'll actually build the set. So I don't mind him doing that because he's like learning how to do stuff with his hands and stuff.
Following instructions.
He's following instructions and putting it together, and then he gets frustrated and throws it on the wall, and I think breaks it in a million pieces. And then I said, "Well, there you go." And then I step on it and curse at 3 a.m. when I'm walking through the house. But yeah, see, I don't mind that because he's using it and he's building stuff with the instructions, and he's building houses, and he's trying to figure all that stuff out, and then he doesn't know about the minifigures yet. Yeah, he has the minifigures from what do you call it, Minecraft and the Mario minifigures, but he's not into Star Wars minifigures yet. I'm trying to avoid that so it doesn't cost me $170 per figure. But I'll just buy all that stuff in bulk and just have them go to town on that, and I'm okay with that.
It's not cheap though.
No, it's not.
They're $3 to $5 is a normal Star Wars figure. Just a regular crappy one is $3 to $5.
Like Rose from the new movies, some ancillary characters.
But
$5.
But that's different because when you're done with these figures, these minifigures, and these things hold a monetary value.
Oh, I'm selling all of them. That's why I told my wife, I don't mind spending the money on this because it's worth money. So he's cracking some arms here and there and some torsos. It is what it is. But most of this stuff is actually worth a lot of money. His Legos are worth well over $1,000 or thousands of dollars. He has so many figures. It's not even funny.
Well, something my son was watching just before I was eating dinner before the show. He's zoning out. He's getting ready for the end of the night. He's watching on YouTube on his iPad, on his tablet, a YouTuber who did a video. And I don't know where they come up with this. It's not rocket science, but the guy was building a Minecraft fortress. He literally just started with one of the plates. And then he dumped, and he's narrating this whole thing. He dumps a whole bag of bricks. He's like, and then I went online and I bought a big bag of bricks and I'm protecting the president and I have the president in this castle. And he's like, then I realized I needed to fortify the fort. And then I went online and bought these 8 agents, and this one has night vision goggles. And he's building this whole world, right in the video. He's buying all these Legos. They're coming in, he's building it. And, my son's enamored. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of Legos. This guy's putting a video together, but in some regard, I'm kind of happy to see him watching that because I'm like, well, good, he can watch that, and then I don't have to buy the Legos. He's living vicariously through this guy. But these Lego guys must get a ton of views. I mean, a ton.
Oh yeah.
When they go and spend $500 on Legos, they're probably making that back in a week. I mean,
Yeah, Charles has his own Lego podcast.
He did.
It was too much. My son hated Lego, hated Star Wars Lego. He refused to make a video. I said, all right, so it's over. And then we stopped. And he probably hated Lego for about a year. It had to be a year. In the last 6 months, he started watching Clone Trooper, the cartoon, the Star Wars cartoon, Clone Wars. Now loves Clone Troopers and loves Lego Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Kids are just different nowadays. They were not like every single one of us. You played outside all day. I would bring my GI Joes outside. I remember it being pouring rain, playing in the mud, digging GI Joes up, burying them in the mud, coming out the next day, finding them. Kids are not doing that anymore. We have friends from school or our neighbors or even some people in our family. It's weird. It's when it's a rainy day, we know who to call to sit in the house. And when it's a nice day, we know who not to call because we want to be outside playing. And it's just weird how that's actually what it's come down to. What friends are we hanging out with depending on how the day is?
Yeah,
because we want them to be outside.
It's true.
I blame the parents. It's
It's 100%. You know,
it's a good like 75%. It's the parents' fault.
you can blame an iPad or a computer or a TV screen all you want, but if the parent is letting them do that all day because they're too lazy to be bothered by it, well, then it comes down to the parent.
Well,
It
the
is-
other half
it
is
is a
that we
lot.
collect toys and we don't want our kids burying their GI Joes and that in the sand. And be like, well, that might be worth money someday. You need to keep the accessories in a nice little baggie.
Brandon,
don't bury it in the dirt.
what's the over under? How many GI Joes are currently in Chris's parents' backyard right now? Over under 10. There's no way
I'll
you
take-
found all of those.
I'll take less than 0 because we didn't have a backyard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
We were a corner house, so we had
we
a
only had,
front
like, a
and a
side
side
yard.
yard.
Oh okay.
so
The back was just like an alleyway where you can walk. That was all
I
it
think
was.
I think a little bit of the difference now is that like in my backyard I have turf. I don't have grass because weeds will get out of control. So we just put turf back there. So there's no real burying of
Shane,
action figures.
you know.
I don't know. What does Shane have? You have grass?
I do. Well, I
Yeah.
have weeds. I have
Yeah,
weeds.
Brandon, we have grass. We have a sun.
Most of my backyard is a pool, but yes, I have grass.
Well, Charles, the water in New York probably doesn't cost as much as it costs here. We're always in a drought,
My water bill is
and it never rains.
$17 every 3 months. In the summer, it's maybe $40 to $50.
You want to hear my water bill?
My water bill is like $900 every 3 months.
Well, mine was
You got to fix that leak in the pool, man.
mine was
mine is not
it's,
that.
it's water
but
and sewer, but it's
about
like
$400 every 2 months.
Mine was contaminated from some kind of plume or something. We had like a military site here on Long Island, and it supposedly like leached into our water. So my water district is run by, I don't know, the Navy or the military. So they offset my water bill by like most of it.
Is that why your son is part of the X-Men now? He's glowing.
I don't stick this water in my mouth at all.
Where do
It's
you
like-
stick it?
I mean,
Shane, when I
When you
make
brush your teeth, do you use bottled water?
when
to
I
brush
make-
your teeth?
when I make pasta, I use water from the bottle. I don't use sink water. At
really?
all. Oh yeah, it's completely strange in this house.
Even,
when
with
you
that,
wash
even
your-
with that big filter system that you guys put?
I'm petrified of water.
What happens when you
Okay.
wash your dishes? When your dishes, do you wash with the bottled water?
No, I use regular water, but I'm saying like Long Island was like mostly farms. So most of our water is leached with like fertilizers, and there's a lot of cancer. There's cancer all over this island.
Well,
Definitely a lot of towns.
well, there's here everybody has fake grass because it costs too much to water the grass.
Oh, your grass would get fried.
yeah.
It's-
I mean,
it's
it
funny
rains
that-
once
it's
a
funny you
year.
said that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying like there's backyard nobody has grass anymore. Either that or people put rock in their backyard
Yeah.
with plants that don't require water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like when I moved into our house, we would walk around the blocks, and I'm like, why is everyone's grass brown? And my grass is the greenest you've ever seen in your life. Everyone else has brown grass. They don't have pools, nothing. And then I finally get my water bill, and I'm like, holy crap, it's $300 a month. No wonder why no one's doing it.
Yeah.
They ended up finding out that we had a private water company, and they were basically screwing everyone, and then they ended up getting taken over and bought out or by the government or whatever it was. So now we're not private anymore, we're public. So now it went down to like $20 a month. So
Oh
now
my God.
everyone has green grass everywhere. Everyone's getting pools. It's like back to what it should be. But yeah, we were getting screwed big time.
No, we're getting screwed over here. We got our water got bought out twice in a row by a big company. It was a local organization, like name with our town's name in it at first. And it's sewer and water. And I'm telling you, forget about the summer with the pool. I'm telling you, my bill is $200 a month minimum. Like I just got the bill yesterday. It's $200 for April or May or whatever. We're not even using water,
yeah.
and it's $200.
You're flushing a toilet and you're doing laundry. That's it.
That's it. That's it. We're not even watering stuff outside yet. Not even flowers.
Shane doesn't leave the house, so he doesn't shower
Right.
Correct.
Not even showering.
or brush his teeth.
He's agreeing with you, Brandon.
Not even showering.
He doesn't even. I guarantee you, Shane doesn't even brush his teeth every day.
I do. Of course I do. Get out of here.
Get out of here, bro.
I had to go over
All
to
right,
Chris and Charles'
trying
room
to
to brush
extend
my
it,
teeth after Brandon used our bathroom.
Hey, when water's free at a hotel,
He's in
I
there.
use it.
He's in there like it's a water park, just slapping himself around the bathroom, spraying water everywhere. All right, guys. Well, vintage toys, we know those are for adults mostly. Toys on the shelves, it's a mixed bag. But action figures, I think the bulk of them coming out are for adult collectors. You know, the sculpts, the price points. Nobody is buying their kids. I mean, you know, once in a while you get a present, whatever. Sure. Nobody's buying a series of toys at $25 plus a figure.
Mm-mm.
It's not happening.
Nope.
So when they come out with those figures, they are targeting us. That's my opinion.
I'll buy them. If I do buy them, I'll buy them used for
Yeah.
a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. What's
John,
that?
John didn't mention McFarlane's toys, and those are $10.
Yeah. What? Those are DC. Are those Marvel? What are they?
DC.
DC. Okay.
It's the perfect
superpowers
price
are
point.
like
Yeah.
they were $9.99. I think they've gone up a little bit.
And I
even
was
if-
excited when those retro figures came out, John, because those were a $10 price point. But just the style of them, it seems like it spoke to collectors more.
Even the vehicles are like $20. That's what it should
Yeah.
be. $15.
The retro figures are now 17. Like, are
Really?
you talking about the Star Wars?
No. The Marvel retro figures, like with the retro
they're
card
25.
backs.
They're 25.
No. The small,
we're
like the
talking
3
about
and
the
3/4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that.
They were like, I think their price point was like $10.99 or something like that.
Yeah. And I was excited about that because I was like, hey, you know, collectors could get them. They're kids' prices, but just with the retro card backs, I think it just spoke to collectors.
Yeah,
Mostly.
they're really cool.
They are.
They stopped making them. But
Did they really?
yeah,
Okay.
I think I haven't seen any anywhere recently.
Okay.
Oh, go to Ross. They're probably all $3 at Ross.
Yeah,
When we were driving up from Texas, I was passing every Ross or, you know, all those stores that we don't have up in the north. I'm like, oh, I wish we could stop. I wish we could
We
stop.
don't have these here.
Oh, well, you're talking about places that sell toys at a discounted rate. For some reason, Ross gets in all the Star Wars TVC
Ninja
figures. They get in Ninja Turtles. They get in Marvel Legends. They get in a bunch of the wrestlers, Shane. I don't know, man. And they're all super cheap. I'm talking $3 to $5 per figure.
Yeah.
And people,
That must be on the West Coast.
resellers are cleaning the shelves on these things and selling them at shows. And you can tell who it is because it's always the same people that are selling the same stuff. And it's always the Ross stuff that they're marking up to $10, which is still half price of what they went to begin with.
I think a lot of them end up being peg warmers, but you could still flip those. And then there's some good figures that come out, you know, that they get. So
Yeah.
those are the top ones to grab. All right, guys, let's wrap this one up. That's going to do it for this episode. Please support the show. You can check us out on Patreon. And if you like what we're doing, check that out. You can get early access to all of our videos and lots of other benefits. You can see things that are going up for sale on Rogue 5 Toys before they're posted. So check that out as well. Please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. We are still looking to do our giveaway for 5,000 subs. You can get into that and win a $300 or $400 collectible. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on 5 Idiots Talking Toys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.